Hi, my name is Malin Leth.
And my name is Mildner. In this seminar, we will talk about protecting and restoring our lands and waters from plastic pollution and how businesses could play a larger role.
Restoration of our landscapes and seascapes in order to achieve the vision of plastic-free oceans means taking action upstream and downstream. It means picking up litter that have already reached nature while at the same time working with awareness-raising activities on norms and human behaviour, but also strengthening existing waste management infrastructure and related policies. All in all, it means to stop the stream of litter at source from a broad variety of perspectives.
And in this seminars, we are looking on one of these perspectives. We're going to talk about how our connection to nature plays a role in the decisions that we make.
Yeah, and of course, we couldn't find a better place to discuss this than by the sea. We went to the beach and met up with Xenia Brundin, co-founder of Ribban Beach Camp in Malmö. Okay. Hi, Xenia. Welcome to the Ocean Alliance seminar series.
Thank you.
So you're working at the Ribban Beach Camp. Could you let us know what you are working on?
So what we do at Ribban Beach Camp is that we take people out on amazing nature adventures, both on the ocean and on the rivers, mainly in southern Sweden. So what we're doing is that we're trying to highlight really beautiful areas that are high in biodiversity and where there's kind of exotic wildlife that you might not expect, especially from people who already live here. They come like, oh, how did this exist? So for us, it's really important to build up that relationship with nature. And for some people, it's a calm evening of mindfulness on the ocean. And for some people, it's whitewater kayaking and in the most awesome waves on the river.
So it's more like from adventures to like these slow-paced, restorational or recreative activations that you have.
Exactly. We want the whole span, because building that relationship with nature and being out with nature, we know how healthy it is for us, how much difference it makes for us both physically and mentally. But also it's so important to build that close relationship to nature, because not only have we been isolated from each other during the pandemic, but we for a very long time have been isolated from nature. And that's what we're trying to change.
Yeah, so also like the processes in which we produce what we consume, it's also been like further away from how nature functions and like respecting that kind of setting. What are some of the reactions you've seen from participants strengthening their relationship to nature from your activities?
I mean, most of it is that, and that's what we're looking for too, that wow feeling. We have a paddling down in Falsterbo where the Måklippen area is a nature reserve that is closed for people. And telling that story of how that work to restore the seal populations in Sweden have worked and how successful that has been. And for them to come out into the water and maybe see the seals popping up and looking at us, that is that wow factor that they will remember. And then they will tell that to their family and their friends. Because like, we do have these seals here, they are feeling healthy. And those are the kind of reactions that we're looking for. And also that reminder that, okay, some nature are not so far away. Like some nature, like right here in Malmö, it's really, really beautiful. The ocean is here and we don't have to just explore it from the seashore or the coastline. We can go out into it and dive and paddle and swim and explore. So.
Yeah. Do you see that the understanding about the different challenges that we're facing now with the plastic pollution in marine environment and so forth, do you see that people tend to understand even more the stronger connection they get to nature?
I think that what the connection to nature really does, because I find that people who come to us are generally quite knowledgeable of that it is a problem, but not necessarily how they can contribute. So opening up that relationship to nature will make them feel like, oh, this is my neighbor, this is a a friend in a way. Like this is somewhere I go to, someone I meet in a way, so that when we then have a cleanup, then they're coming out because they already feel that community and connection with the place. So they want to contribute. And I think also, you know, because we take people from all walks of life. We have people who work in the big industries. We have politicians who come to us. That reminder for them to also have that relationship is really important, because they have then even more powers to make a difference than many of us.
I remember we talked about the gap prior to the interview between like understanding the problem and taking action in your space as the individual in your home or like at work or in school. How could you like close that gap between understanding the problem and taking proper action?
Oh, I think one way is giving people easy ways to do it, or easy ways to start. So a cleanup is a really easy way to start. The other benefits of those, which I also think is important, is that there is other people involved too, because I don't want people to feel isolated. I'm the only one who is properly sorting. I am the only one who throws my cup in the right place after having a coffee. So seeing and feeling that there's others who are equally engaged and also making an effort is kind of building that community and makes people want to do it even more.
And then as this seminar is just about this, about business playing a larger role in restoration activities, but it could also be rewilding activities. So anything that comes to trying to help back the ecosystems that are suffering from marine plastic pollution, for example. But what could business do then to play this larger role? Do you have any examples or insights from what you have been working on? Yeah,
so I think there's mainly two ways of doing it. So one way is actually looking at, do I have some type of land? Do I have ownership of some type of land? Or am I powerful in those types of ways? And see if there's little things we can do there already. Can I plant more bushes? Can I throw out the summer flower seeds for them to grow? And this could even be around, say, a factory. And the benefits are you're contributing to biodiversity, but you're also making the people who work at your factory happier, because they come into a more green and beautiful place and they will feel better. And then, of course, if you are a farmer or if you actually have land, it is really easy to start doing tree plantations and rewilding spaces. And that's something that working in tourism, we do in our other businesses in Nepal as well. And that's super easy to start. It's not, shouldn't be too difficult. Just start somewhere and get it going.
Yeah.
And then the other part is spreading the knowledge. So, you know, coming out to these beautiful places with your teams, sharing the information, inviting experts in, having a great day in the outdoors, and building that relationship to nature. And then maybe once people are connected and want to make a difference, maybe you can ask your team, how can we do it more? So then your benefit is both that your team is engaged and they're happy and they're coming up with great ideas.
Yeah. I know you have a quite long history of working with community building, whether it would be like inside the organization or outside with different stakeholders. Like what could businesses learn from your work on that?
I think that for us, it's a policy that no one is a competitor. Everyone is a possible collaboration. I think that is a beautiful thing that exists a lot in the tourism industry, at least in the smaller SMEs. But that's also something that look at the commune like a potential partner. We want to do something like this. What's going on in the commune or the municipality? So ask that question. And the same, just look where you are, what other types of businesses are around. Can we do something together with them? So it's really important building being local, connecting locally with people. And then, because you will find when you start asking that more people want to do great things.
Yeah, and that would also, I think, would be applicable to like not only the tourism sector, but like any other business, because you always have some sort of ecosystem or like, I don't know, landscape where you're operating, where you can find communities, stakeholders, nature. Yeah,
absolutely.
What would you say would be like, is there any like top key learning from your work so far that could be of inspiration to businesses in other sectors, like raising the awareness or like engaging with the community or building up the community like internally?
Exactly. I think I think building community, even if that doesn't seem like a environmental thing to do, at the end of the day, that's the relationship that we need to build, that we are not separate from nature, we are part of it. So to be able to be long-term sustainable, no matter what industry we're in, we need to reconnect with nature. We need to understand it. And we need to do it both, of course, in a almost like a technical way, like nature has all the solutions to any problem here. But then also on a more personal level for each of our team members, for each of our customers as well, like allowing and creating that relationship is healthy for us all, is inspiring for us all.
And looking a little bit more at your learnings, do you have any, like, is there different learnings from like your operations in Sweden versus in Nepal, or like what do you have in your backpack of experience?
It's very different for sure, but it's funny in a way because it's very easy to work together with bigger players here. So say municipalities, they are quite open if you find the right way in to go to any of the beautiful nature rooms in your local areas. And there's also lots of governmental support to do better for the environment, to improve your products and improve your processes. So there is that kind of community to reach out to, and there's a lot of workshops to go to and learn from. In Nepal, because the government system isn't capable quite at the moment to tackle these issues the same way, but it's easier to go to very local level. So like, you know, your neighbor, like they are also involved in it. They are very connected to the land. They're probably farming themselves, or they're using the forest in different ways. So there is very, very easy to start a restoration project, for example, and involve the community in a different way.
And then looking at the different kind of restoration activities that you are like strengthening the community with here in Malmö in Sweden, what are you doing? What are some of the activities? You mentioned cleanups.
So cleanups is the main one here, and it's really important for us. We both have an online community that has come out with us on hikes or paddles and so on, whom we're doing this with, but we're also connecting with municipality and nature room and other diving organizations and so on here. So that's a big part of it. But then also the way we design the products and the experiences that we offer, that's another way for us to contribute. Because if we can lift the wonderful restoration going on along Kävlingeån outside of Lund, then that will continue to be protected, because people suddenly see, oh wow, this work is done really well. So when they hear about it next time, or when someone else goes there, then they will continue to want that protection. Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, so I think then I'm listening from what you're saying. So one insight also for businesses that would like to play a larger role in this would be to look at either locations that are under protection already, to showcase them even more for a wider range of stakeholders, but also to look at locations where there would be a need of protection or restoration, and put in an effort to help out.
Absolutely, and start looking at your own, like what is mine, what is my space, what can I do there, and then start looking at where else can I support with financially, with other types of powers. And
what I would just ask you one last thing then, like looking at what you have like in your own space, it still requires some sort of bravery to ask that first question, or like go to your boss and present like some sort of activation plan where you would like to have some sort of permission, or maybe for the municipality. What would you say would be like, what would engage or like empower you to take that step, and what would you think could be beneficial for others to know, like to take that first step?
I think that let's not put too much pressure on ourselves when we do it, because it's so easy to get stuck in all the details. So we can improve here and here, but if we improve here, that has another consequence somewhere down, and you can go down a rabbit hole and you're like, no matter what I do, everything is wrong. So I think a little less pressure and more inspiration, and allow each other. And it's very important for leadership to see when someone is reaching out and saying, okay, I want to contribute with this, I have this idea, that the leadership really grabs it and takes it for that wonderful opportunity that it is, and that you create that culture within your teams, that they are allowed to come in with ideas and say these things.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Xenia, for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So, how could business help to restore our lands and waters from plastic pollution? Well, to start with, it's about opening up for a relationship with nature. Take your time to see what there is and how it functions. And remember what Xenia said, we are not separate from nature, we are a part of it. Also, share knowledge through external and internal experts and interact and engage with stakeholders and reach out to the community. The next seminar will be streamed in September, and this will be the conclusion, the finale, where we summarize this seminar series and highlight what we've learned about the transformation towards a circular plastics economy.
Thank you so much for watching.